Shalom, more praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah, double line, positive GMS. This is Another Allah coming at you, another video. And in this video, I want to be focusing on the book of Sirach, chapter 38. I'm going to start from verse 22. Right? Verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. Now, what does that mean? The wisdom of a learned man come by opportunity of leisure. Now, you look at the word leisure. The word leisure means, basically, leisure has been defined as a quality of experience or as free time. And now that means time away from work or other obligations, or the freedom that comes from not having to do those things. Leisure time can be spent on activities like golfing, windsailing, and crocheting. Now, they say, oh, see, leisure just means free time. Even when you was in school and your teacher gave you leisure time, you thinking it means free time. You could, they probably bring games out the closet so you could play little board games, Connect Four, whatever. Or, you could draw. Or probably let you play a game. Like how it be sometimes in school, end of the school year, kids bring Game Boys to school and all of that. But let's go deep into that word leisure. Now, this is from a website called Inside ClassicalED.com, or education. Recovering leisure. Schole and education, part 1. I'm going to scroll right down to December 10th, 2013. Go right down to the point. The Greek word for leisure is schole. It does not mean leisure in the American sense of relaxing on a vacation at the beach. It means rather restful learning that comes from discussion, conversation, and reflection among good friends. For the Greeks, this was a noble thing, one of the highest activities of human existence. The Greeks had another word for that kind of work that we all must do to earn our bread. Ascolia. Ascolia means that necessary activity that keeps you from schole. See, so it's a necessary activity that keeps you from schole. What's that necessary activity that keeps you from schole? Actual work. That's why I said the Greeks had another word for that kind of work that we all must do to earn our bread. In other words, to make ends meet. We call money bread, right? Ascolia. Ascolia means that necessary activity that keeps you from schole. So it's a necessary activity that keeps you from schole, or that keeps you from learning. Now, wage earning is a fine and noble thing in its own right, properly conceived. But do you see that schole is a higher thing still? Until we do, we won't have it because we don't want it. We won't want it. The classical tradition esteemed it and sought, and so should we. So the classical people in antiquity, the ancient world, they esteemed schole, and so should we. I close with an irony. Yes, we do derive our word school from schole. Schole moved into the Latin as schola, with some change of meaning, and then into German as skule, and English as school. By the time we get to English, the restful connotation of schole has vanished. So the connotation of restful learning has vanished. So don't even associate the word leisure with school no more. That's how we moved to the first definition of leisure. It said like a free time. It said, things like golfing and crocheting. I mean, come on. Which crochet is dealing with yarn, like sewing, like. We can hope, however, that the renewal of classical education will put the schole back into school. And like I said before, in school, they're giving you leisure time like it means free time. But that's not even what it means. It really means school. Well, the leisure comes from the word schole, because we get the word school from. So why would in school they give you a leisure time that has nothing to do with learning? Because they don't even know the definition. And back to crocheting. Crocheting is it's not necessarily sewing, because sewing you use a needle. Crocheting you use a crochet hook in the yarn. So I'd say yarn and sewing is more. It's really kind of different. It's similar, but it's just different. One you use different tools. But let's go back to the point. The wisdom of a learned man that cometh by opportunity of leisure. So not free time, but leisure as in schole. restful learning, which I'll do. I'm gonna do another show on this too. Go a little deep into a Lord will. And he that hath little business shall become wise. He that hath little ascolia, which ascolia is the necessary activities that we do to earn our bread, as we just read moments ago. That's work. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow? Ascolia. And that glorieth in the gold. Ascolia. This is all ascolia. Necessary activity to earn your bread. Work that driveth oxen and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks. So if you could so confined with your work, how are you going to have time for skole? For opportunity of leisure to learn? You're always working. He giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kind fodder. So he's feeding his animals. He's making furrows in the soil. That's what he giveth his time to. That's what he's dedicated to. He's not dedicated to the knowledge, to learning, to wisdom. So every carpenter and workmaster that laboreth night and day, and they that cut engrave seals and are diligent to make variety and give themselves to counterfeit imagery and watch to finish a work. The smith also sitting by the anvil and considering the iron work, the vapor of the fire wasteth his flesh, so the fire can burn him sometimes. You know, you sitting by an anvil, you making something out of iron, the vapor from the fire can burn your flesh. That steam, that the gases from the fire, which fire is gas, it can burn your flesh. And he fighteth with the heat of the furnace. He's fighting with the heat of the furnace. You know, the fire get too hot, you gotta, wave, let's say, a towel over it. You fighting with it because you're sweating profusely, excessively, drenched in sweat. You battling the heat. That's the term that you got when you're out there working and it's hot out there, or working out and it's hot out there. You fighting or battling with the heat. So that's what he's dealing with. And he fighting with the heat of the furnace. And the noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears. He's always focused on that. He's always thinking about that. It's ever in their ears. And his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. So he's heavily focusing on the object that he's hitting on the anvil. Heavily focused on that. He sitteth his mind to finish his work and watcheth the posture perfectly. So doeth the potter sitting at his work, and turn the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully set at his work, and maketh all his work by number. He fashioneth the clay with his arm, forming it, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. Without these cannot a city be inhabited. So all of them trust in their hands, and they're wise in their work. They're knowledgeable when it comes to their job. They're trusting their hands. In other words, they're trusting in their labor. And they're wise with their work. They're wise when it comes to their profession, yeah. It's like a person that goes to school to become a plumber, or a person that goes to school to get an HVAC, a certificate as an HVAC. Yeah, you wise in your profession, but you're not wise in the knowledge of Yahweh Shemel Shah. I remember years ago when the apostles was debating polite, that nigga on 34th Street. It was a video that the apostle Gabar had did, and I believe it was the apostle Ramlad. They was in a car, and the apostle Gabar made a statement. He said, if you don't know Yahweh Shemel Shah, you don't know nothing. I don't care what you know. There's polite knows about this, he knows about that, he knows about a variety of different things, because that, piece of what, he was, raping little girls, man. A woman that, he was raping this girl, he raped this girl that was the daughter of a woman that he was dealing with. But in the scriptures, you're not supposed to deal with a mother and daughter. You know what I mean? So that's wicked as hell. He raped that little girl. How you gonna sit there and deal with a woman and her daughter? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's wicked as hell. And they were sitting there calling, us those things, but, he was one of the main guys doing it, but he was actually doing it. Making false accusations against us, and the Most High brought judgment upon his ass. That's what a dude locked up. Wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing nothing like that. Dealing with somebody and you dealing with their mother. That's absurd. And we ain't supposed to be going around raping nobody anyway. That's going off, but they not under the same, you know, rules that we under. Same discipline that we under. So they could just do what the hell they want to do. You know? And which we here at GMS don't teach nobody to go around doing that. And if it's come to find out you're doing that, then you getting casted out. You know, we don't deal with stuff like that. But anyway, it says, without these cannot the city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will. So without them, a city can't be inhabited. You need people that make iron with the anvil. You need people that's plowing the field and feeding the animals. You need people that's doing pottery. They form the different things around you. They make sure, you know, these animals can plow the field so you can have good vegetation, good crops, so that people can eat. So these things are necessary. You need the iron smith to make, you know, you need that smith that blows the coals in the fire to do what? To make things of iron, like weapons. You know? Without these cannot the city be inhabited. And they should not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. You can't live in the city without them. Iron workers, you know, all of them. Even to this day, you got iron workers. Blacksmiths, you know? I said ironsmith earlier. Blacksmith. I meant to say. You can't have them. You can't have that in the city. You can't have a city without them. They should not be sought for in public council. You're not going to seek after them in public council. Because they ain't going to be there. So you're not going to see them out there on the street at the camp teaching. Nor sitting in the high congregation. They're not going to have a high rank and be respected for their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They should not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. You're not going to sit in the seat to judge. You're not going to understand the sentence of judgment. Why was that judgment? Why was that judgment made? Because they ain't spiritual. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they should not be found with parables are spoken. So you're not going to find them with a word of Yahweh Shemashah is being taught. But they will maintain the state of the world and know their desires and the work of their craft. They're going to maintain the state of the world and know their desires and the work of their craft. And where man's heart is, let me get that scripture. Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So whatever it is you treasure, whatever it is you desire, there will your heart or your mind be also. Your mind will be fixated upon that because that's what's most important to you. So if whatever you put in before the truth is what's most important to you. So with that, you ain't supposed to be doing that. This truth come first. So with that, I'm gonna say, oh praise the Yahweh Shemel Shah, double honor to the Apostle GMS. Matthew 10:37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or mother more than me is not worthy of me. So if you love that, those are the people that's closest to you. If you love them more than Yahweh Shah, then you're not worthy. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So if you don't take up your cross, you know, which is this truth, and following the Lord, you're not worthy of the Lord, not worthy to be in this thing. He that findeth his life shall lose it. So if you seek in life in this world, I remember my job, I remember my career, I remember my family, I remember this, that, and third. Guess what? You trying to find your life, so guess what? You're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose your life. You're gonna die. Or if you don't die, you're gonna lose everything that you sought for, everything that you require, everything that you want. The Most High gonna bring judgment upon you. And he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. But him that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So somebody that casts off, man, forget the job, man. And my woman tripping out, she wanna leave, let her ass go. I ain't worried about my career. But so you losing your life. Guess what? You're gonna find it in Yahweh Shah. And you're gonna see the kingdom. And the scriptures also speak about this in Luke, I think 14:18 or 14:19, where it speaks about a parable. And it mentions one man said, oh, I got a piece of ground, I gotta go see it. You know, he bought some land, he gotta go check the land. He bought this, he gotta do that. They all one consent made excuse to not, you know, do the work of the Lord. But always saw a way out. Oh, I had to marry a wife, I gotta be excused. They always found an excuse. They're not of the Lord, man. I'm not gonna get that due to the interest of time. As you can see, my phone's on 4% now. So then I'm gonna close and say, oh, praise the Yahweh Shemel Shah. All you brother learn something. Shalom.